I don't know what compelled me to buy Grand Blue versus on launch. It has to have crossplay, otherwise the game will just die again. I wouldn't say that. I mean, the game's not dead to begin with. That's like saying CVS2 is dead. The game's not dead. Fun things are fun. People will play fun things. BB Tag's not dead. You could jump online on BB Tag right now. We did it already. Just last week. We jumped on BB Tag and got some matches. People are still playing the game. Hell, people are playing PSO1. Literally anything isn't dead because everything has its own dedicated community. Exactly. Yeah, no, like you could jump on a lot of older things and still get matches. You could jump on Grand Blue and still get matches. People still have been playing Grand Blue. Hell, people are still playing Virtua Fighter. That game's like 16 years old. Really never gonna find many, if any, new players in there. You can still jump online and get matches pretty quickly. The fact that a game's not getting new players doesn't mean it's dead. That's a big misconception. I feel like you're the target audience that fighting game devs are trying to target, not to try hard but still interested in fighting games, but not enough to play your game if no one else is playing it. Well, no, the fighting game genre in itself is niche, so they're always trying to get new players, which is where the whole discrepancy of, oh, we should make things easier kind of thing happens. That's not really a good idea to go about that. Because if you make it easier, then the people who actually know what they're doing just makes it easier for them to shit on the newer players, which a lot of times will prevent the newer players from playing the game more. Sales are a big thing for sure, though. Like that's the idea, is that they're trying to get more sales, because fighting games don't normally sell all that well. I mean, a few 100,000 units, that's, for a fighting game, that's really good. For most other types of video games, that's not good at all. With each new iteration of a video game, you're usually not selling as many units. You try to sell as many, if not more. That's the goal. But you don't always meet that. You'll try Strive, but never try Melty Blood, because you know Strive has an active player base with new players. It's more compelling for you to try. People are still... You can jump on Melty Blood right now. People are playing the game. There's new people in Melty Blood also. Hell, we were fighting like a D rank the other day. I'd even say Melty Blood is much easier to play than Strive on top of that, because everything just works. That's the internal struggle. Fighting games in general are just hard as fuck, and some may say making it easier, but either way, people won't play. See, the thing with fighting games is people don't want to put in the work to get good at something. A lot of times people, especially nowadays, people kind of expect to just jump on a video game, whether or not it's a fighting game or not. People kind of expect to be able to jump on a game and perform, at least decently. But that's actually not the case. In a fighting game, that's really pushed on you even harder, because you only have yourself to rely on when it comes down to it. You don't have like a team to back you up and be like, oh, if I mess up on something, it's not looked on as hard. Like, say you play Call of Duty, there's not really that much of a negative to dying. You kind of just spawn in and do your thing again. And it's not solely up to you to decide whether or not your team's going to lose. In a fighting game, that's all dependent on you, the player. So if people get shit on by someone who actually was willing to put in at least a bit of work, at least do a tutorial, maybe a little bit of training mode, they're usually not pleased by that. Neutral isn't about execution. Don't attack because combos are so easy. You get to play the game as long as you learn neutral. You still have to be able to identify what's going on in that moment. Execution doesn't necessarily mean, oh, you have to do this many commands to get this done. That does require execution. They should know that they should either do this, do that, or do the third. You can duck, you can backstep, you can sidestep, you can jump. That's game knowledge. Yes, that is game knowledge. But your knowledge means nothing if you can't execute upon that knowledge. Ducking and sidestep isn't hard to do. Again, that's a player thing, because I suck at sidestepping and dodging. I still get shit done, though. You ask me to sidestep it in like Virtua Fighter or Tekken, I'm not. It's not gonna happen. It's just not. You might be bad at knowing when to do it. I can identify that I should be doing. I talk about it all the time. I was like, I should have done this. I know that I can do this, but I don't do it. You try really hard to get casual into fighting games, and they all quit because they kept dropping combos. That's just a personal problem for them. They also didn't practice those combos. Games can have very simple combos to do. Like, say Marvel vs. Capcom, you have light, medium, heavy, launch, light, medium, heavy, knockdown. The fact that you can go beyond the things to do things that would be even better, that's where the practice comes in. If someone doesn't want to practice that, it's just not a game for them. At the base level, anything that you want to do in a fighting game comes down to the player and how they're going to implement what the knowledge that they have. Fighting game people always say more people need to play our games, but it's like your games are not fun for the common people. Well, I can sum that up very simply. You're only going to play a fighting game if you're interested in it. You're only going to do something if you're interested in that something. If someone doesn't want to do something, they're just not going to do it. It's as simple as that. As you say, everyone and instant gratification and Andy, if we are trying to grow the genre. We're going to really have to see how Riot Fighting Game changed the scene since they claim to want to make it simple. I don't think the game is going to be any more simple than, say, Power Rangers. It looks like they're taking that approach to the game, very much so. Power Rangers / Marvel Infinite / PB Tag. Some people might be interested, but when they try it, just leave because it's too hard. So here's my thing. When I started this stream, I wasn't playing fighting games. Let me reiterate that. I've been playing video games my entire life. But Tekken was the first fighting game that I actually tried to learn, and I did that on stream. Like literally my entire Tekken journey has been on stream. Same with DOA even. And I've loved DOA since the beginning. But I never knew how to play the game. Not really. It was literally just mashing buttons in both the games. I didn't know what the hell was what. I knew how to block. Same with Soul Calibur. But I figured it out. You're just built different. It just goes back to the fact that I wanted to improve. No other reason. And to some degree, you're right. There's nothing you can do about it because it's a fighting game and you just have to grind. I mean, that goes for any video game, though. You go into a game like Spider-Man, you think you're gonna just live if you don't know how to dodge. You think you're gonna play Dark Souls and not die first try? Good luck. You think you'll pick up a game like Devil May Cry and just do shit? Nah. Nah. Even Mario Kart. Even a game like Mario Kart, if you don't know what you're doing, you're kind of just assed out. If you don't know how to turn, if you know how to drift boost, you don't know how to defend yourself with certain items. I mean, sure, the game has this comeback mechanic where if you're further behind, you'll get better items to catch up, sure. I mean, that could be said for a lot of fighting games even. Guilty Gear has this gut system. Marvel vs. Capcom had X Factor. Tekken has his rage system. All I'm saying is so people can do combos easier. You're going in the right direction to appeal to the masses. Yes and no. It'll make it easier for them to comprehend, yes. But that doesn't mean that they're going to stick with the game, let alone buy it. That's been proven time and time again. Easier isn't always better. The thing is, without the fighting games, like each title's dedicated player base, like if it wasn't for their fan base, they wouldn't have a fan base to begin with. Whether or not they're trying to bring in new people, if they don't have the people who will enjoy the game, they have nothing. Tekken's a huge example of that. You know how much legacy skill is in Tekken? Game's been built off the same shit since Tekken 5. Soul Calibur's been the same shit since Soul Calibur 1. I can't say Soul Edge, because Soul Edge was a very different game. We're going off track. We're supposed to be watching Grand Blue right now. Shit. It's been an hour, chat.